So I'll show you a little bit about how I move into the gentling part. See, this is the driving. Now the other half is the draw. And that's where they build a little confidence in them about being with me. And I'll show you here in a minute. I'll start that. Come on. I will drop back. I'll move in front of them. And they face me. That one took a step. And I will try to drop all my energy. And I will not approach them. Oh, that one's moving back. Okay, her flight zone is more. I may have a volunteer here. I'm going to allow them to choose. If she chooses to move off, that's fine. They'll find out soon enough that it's more comfortable and better to stand here and let me approach them in a non-threatening way than it is to run around this circle. And I try to convince them of that. You see, I'm coming indirectly at this cow. I'm walking on a T. I'm walking in front. As she turns away, I'll drop back to try to draw her head this way. There it comes a little bit. I don't know if all of you can see that. But they're allowing me closer. There, she's looking at me directly. I'm coming in. I'm dropping my hand way down. That's too much. She says no. I say, okay, this is just the first date. Well, see you later. And let her relax. I come back again. This is all choice. Whatever choice they make, I have a response. I don't force them to do anything. She sees that I'm after her, so I'm going to drop off of her and ask them to move a little more now. Come on, let's move some more. Let's move, come on. Move them, move them. Now I drop back and step in front of them. I've got that one's attention. I'm dropping away. And now I start walking like this, indirectly. Predators don't approach prey in this manner. So they say, what is this crazy predator doing? He's not acting in any way that's threatening. Now this takes time, but you can see, I hope that, I'll put this behind me because I don't want to create any more pressure. See, I'm stopping that cow by moving in front of her shoulder or behind her shoulder. If I pressure in front of her, she'll turn away like that. So I can balance, I can pretty well hold her. But I'm not going to try and force her to stay and force her to get too worked up or stressed out. That's just a little too fast. When it is, there are consequences. And the consequences are they have to move. They'd rather not move. So pretty soon they're going to learn that I'm not threatening and they can relax with me and everything will be all right. But I can't expect them to learn that too fast. She's relaxed with this. Maybe another baby step. Also, always use baby steps. Cut whatever you're doing in half. She's allowed me up closer. She seems okay with that. I'd rather that she looked at me a little more. There we go. I tilted my shoulder back. It drew her head. It's coming. That's what I want. So I'm going to give her relief on that. I'm going to stand back with my pressure. She's looking at me. This is something that you work over a few days' time. You'll make progress and you'll be able to be very visible after a little more time than that. But I basically I'm trying to work with them so that they won't. When they look at me, I back off. When they give me two eyes, I take pressure away. And that way they learn that standing there and looking at me is the most restful thing that they can do. Okay, I'm making the judgment that I need to let them soak for a moment and think about what's happened. Any tool that you use, I use this rope, it's very handy. Some people like to use a cattle paddle. If you do, you have to be very careful to carry it in a non-aggressive way when you're not trying to use it to move an animal. In this way, it's not projecting any energy. But if I get it up here or rattle it, it's a different story. So, especially when it has these little BBs in it, it can exert quite a bit of pressure. But I want to keep it in neutral. Any tool I use, I want to keep in neutral. Now look, she's turning back again to me. She was checking it out to see if... Good, that's what I want, so I turn away. Some of this seems counterintuitive. When someone comes up to you or looks at you or smiles, you don't turn and walk away. But with the animals, it's different because we're divided by this prey-predator line, and that's what we're working with right now. She's trying to figure out whether I'm a threat to her survival, and that's what they decide very quickly. And I'm trying not to give her any reason to fear me. Look at me, I walk away. So there's no pressure on her. It's the repetition of these that will cut down on this flight zone that we're talking about that exists right here. Look, she's looking at me from about 7 feet. Now that's an improvement. But it obviously makes her nervous when I get close, but it's just like, if I stood against that wall, nothing would happen. They would learn nothing about fearing or trusting me. But if I came in real fast, they'd get all excited and distrust me. So you have to, it's an art, not a science, although there are principles that you want to respect. So I'll just move in here. She looks at me, I turn away. I've got 3 of them now that are looking at me pretty well. I would love to touch one of them for you, but I don't know if I'll be able to do it yet. All right. Let me move around here. I'm trying to be as indirect as possible. I'm saying you want to move away? Okay, that's your choice. But there are consequences. Try to hold her. Try to draw her back. Draw her head back. Good. I'm going to turn and walk away. It's the same thing with horses, natural horsemanship. It's the same thing. It's the same psychology. Okay. Yeah. Take a step. She took 1 step towards me. That's a beginning. That's a beginning of a draw. 1 step. Not quite sure. It's okay. It's okay. I'm going to let them soak for a minute, and I'm going to put them through another exercise, which I find very useful for reducing this flight zone and building confidence, reducing fear, and that's around feeding time. I don't just put feed out and leave. Again, I use feed as a magnet, which draws them forward and gives them a reason to stay and face their fear. If we didn't have this ring here, 71, I believe, is trying to get a little friendlier. They wouldn't have to stay and face the anxiety they have when I cross into their flight zone. They'd just move off. But it's like anything else. It's like teaching children in the classroom. There's a deadline for that paper. You set down a framework, and there's pressure, and when they come up with the paper, they get their reward. Now, same here. They can't avoid me. They have to deal with my pressure in one way or another. They'd rather not, but that's not what this teaching situation is going to allow. It's not going to allow them to run from their fear of me. Okay? It's not that I got distracted from this. You pick up from what they're doing, you have to move with that. And that's why I broke off what I was saying about the feed, because I felt that the animal was reaching towards me there.